Good morning, everyone. I'm here with the amazing psychic Liz Cross. How you doing this morning?
Next question, please.
She pleads the fifth. All right. Well, I'm doing all right. So hopefully my energy will make up for the both of us. So we're going to do a probe on teeth today and how we can heal teeth and gums and all those wonderful things. And it's going to be a two-part video. In the second part of the video, I'm going to share all of my tools and tips and tricks and things that I've come across. And we're going to view which is the most, what's going to be the most efficient way to heal the mouth in general. So the first part of this video, we're going to go through, we're going to bring in some heavy hitters in the dental industry. Well, first, we're going to bring in Mei Wen Ho. She's our all-around health expert. So we're glad to have her here.
Michael Mosley just stepped forward. He wants to be part of it as well. I'll say, okay, we'll see. Let's see what Scott Photon has lined up.
Okay. I mean, he's welcome as well. That's fine. Um, then we have Dr. Robert Becker, who's an
Mm.
expert at he was an orthopedic surgeon, and he actually was very capable of healing bone and regenerating bone actually through some unconventional methods. And
Is this
then
is this the Bob Beck machine?
no, it's not Bob. Yeah, you asked me that last time. No,
Oh,
he
okay.
he wrote the book The Body Electric. He was an orthopedic surgeon, and he actually worked for the military to try and regrow salamander, or sorry, try and regrow human limbs like a salamander can. And through that process, he wasn't actually able to do that in adult men, but he figured out that the body has an amazing ability to heal itself through the electric capability of the body, and he learned different ways to do that more efficiently. And even children actually can regrow. He learned that children at a certain age can regrow their fingers from a certain point. I think if they get their fingers chopped off from like the first digit down, they can regrow that whole part of the finger if they're under a certain age. Anyways, you got to read the book to find out about that. And then lastly, we have Mr. Weston A. Price. And he was a dentist way back in the 1930s. He's famous for his book called Nutrition and Physical Degeneration. Do you have him here?
I have them all here.
Sounds good. All right, so I want to focus in first on Mr. Weston A. Price. So first, let's just talk about the tooth itself. So a lot of people don't know. I mean, they're just like any other organ. They have a blood flow coming in. They have an ability to take waste products out. So it's the same ability to regenerate, just like any other organ or part of the body. And so modern dentistry, unfortunately, will, you know, not really adhere to those principles, and they're going to want to drill into your teeth and put all kinds of stuff in your teeth, amalgam fillings and root canals and all that stuff. They don't really have a good appreciation for how the body can naturally heal itself when it's in the right situation. So what Weston A. Price found out is he actually traveled the world in his time, and he went all across the world. He went to Australia, Fiji, Africa, Switzerland, the Northwestern Territories, I believe, in Canada. So he visited the Eskimo population there back then, and he actually studied them over several generations, where he found that before they had contact really with Western civilization and the technology at the time and all the processed foods, they had incredible health and wellness all over. But specifically as a dentist, he got to actually document what their mouths looked like. And across the board, he noticed some striking differences from his entire practice, practicing, in the modern world, where he would find that all of the native populations in these areas, they'd have a really wide kind of round head. All of their teeth, all 32 of their teeth were present in everyone he studied. And there was no crowding of the teeth. They were all perfectly straight. And he had a really hard time finding cavities. For instance, in one tribe in Africa, he found one cavity out of 2,000 people that he looked at. So the people that he looked at were all, eating their natural diet, and they were in their natural environment, connected to the environment. And, once they started having contact with Western civilization, then they started eating an unnatural diet. So at the time they were, like processed flours, processed sugar, alcohol, all that stuff was introduced to them. And then they were living, they were putting clothes on and living indoors at some point. And they noticed that he noticed that the teeth in those people from the same tribes, the mouths became crowded. I'm trying to get a good picture here and without playing the video. Yeah, there's not a good picture here, but basically you can see on the left-hand side, that's somebody that was, after they started eating the diet. And then on the right-hand side, they had, like perfect teeth. And there was no teeth decay. And also what he noticed as well, I mean, this is across the board, the elderly populations were in really good shape. Like these guys on the screen here, these guys were in their 60s and 70s, some of them, I believe, and they're just absolutely ripped and chiseled, and in great health. And he found that the tribes, if there wasn't any kind of famine or anything going on, I mean, they were living lives into their 70s, 80s, and 90s, quite fit. So I want to ask Mr. Price, now that he's passed on, he had some theories about, what this was. And his main theory was, it was diet. It was mainly diet based that was allowing these people to have perfect teeth and perfect health and wellness in general. And specifically with fat soluble vitamins. So one of his recommendations for people after all this was for people to take cod liver oil, because that was an easy way for people in the West to get some of this fat soluble vitamins that were missing in their diet. So can we ask Mr. Price, looking from where he is today, what was the main reason for these people having just like perfect dental health and well-being in general? Was it specifically their diet, their natural diets that they ate?
Not specifically, no. He's telling me there was a strong genetic component to it as well.
So then I ask him, why is it that when they started eating all the processed flour and all the stuff that he identified, then their teeth started to degrade? So wouldn't that show that it was the diet?
I'm not sure that it's the diet. Because that type of diet alters the DNA and the structure of the body.
Okay.
So yes, it does. Like from our perspective, yes, the answer is yes. From his perspective, the answer was no, because he doesn't believe it was as a direct result. Obviously just the substance hitting the teeth. He believed that it was because the modifications that were being made because of that diet. And
Right.
why were the teeth so vulnerable? He's telling me the teeth are kind of your first go-to point to identify when things are going wrong.
Right. That's a good point. It is, a lot of people have that opinion that the mouth is a good picture of your entire health and your entire body. If there's problems there, then there's going to be problems elsewhere as well with your health overall. Okay. And the theory that I have as well is that it wasn't only diet, but all of these native peoples were living in their environment. So they were getting proper sunshine, they were grounded to the earth, they weren't wearing all kinds of clothes, they were living outdoor lifestyles, they were breathing properly. Would Weston A. Price agree with that was also a big component?
Would you agree that that was also a big factor in the overall health? I mean, yes, the sun, the clean air, clean food. Yes.
Specifically, what we know now, or at least what I've studied, is that breathing through the nose can actually change the way that the entire face is shaped. And if you're breathing through the mouth at an early age, you can actually have a really narrow kind of like jaw structure, and your teeth will naturally be crooked in it because there won't have enough room to kind of come in. So was that another factor as well as the way that they were breathing to shape the face?
Breathing through the nose, or they were breathing through the mouth. Is that correct?
No, I mean, they would breathe through the nose.
So those three men that you showed me on the screen, they're breathing through the nose. Is that correct?
I mean, I don't, obviously I wasn't there, but it looks like their mouths are closed to me.
Oh, right. Those guys there, were they breathing through their mouths? And no, they breathed through the nose. Was just breathing through the nose and the mouth make a difference? Yes, it does make a significant difference. And
Right.
does it change the facial structure of the jaw and the what was it? Sorry,
The shape of the head, I guess,
and
and the
the
jaw.
shape of the head and the teeth. Is that a big factor if you breathe through the mouth? Yes, particularly when it comes to teeth, because breathing in through the mouth instead of the nose is it's actually quite damaging to your teeth.
Right. Yeah. So it's not, you're right. It's not only shaping the facial structure of your face, but you actually dry out the mouth and then you lose the saliva in your mouth, which actually protects the teeth. So that's also a
Right,
factor as well.
exactly. So I'm asking him, what, so did humans always breathe through the nose? Not always. When did they learn to breathe through the nose? They learned to breathe through the nose later on. That's fascinating to me. Why wouldn't humans breathe through the nose? They had to really train themselves to breathe through the nose.
Interesting. Okay.
What, but I mean, I would think that that was just something natural that we did, and he's saying no, not way back in early humans. Humans breathe through the mouth because oftentimes their nose was clogged. He's telling me
Mm,
also that noses were not always, even though there was these two holes here, the nasal passages. It took a long time for that sort of um, breathing to evolve, because those nasal passages, for the amount of energy that we were using as early humans, a lot of times those nasal passages were blocked. Humans really didn't know what to do as far as like clearing them, and there was also excess skin in those nasal passages, he's telling me.
mm,
But most of the physical exertion, because we were very physical beings in the beginning of mankind, and we had to breathe through our mouths. Where the teeth, how long was the teeth, the life of the tooth back then? Were the teeth good? No, the teeth were terrible. And oftentimes, not having teeth meant that that was a death sentence for.
right. Yeah. Yeah, that
Wow.
makes sense. So we evolved into this more efficient way. We became more durable. Our teeth lasted longer, and our life expectancy increased after that as well. So it makes kind of sense that evolution would kind of go on that path. The other thing I want to know about is there's the idea that, and Robert O. Becker is famous for this. Obviously, the teeth is bone, right? That's essentially what it is, the same set of components. And he was very good at, he's an orthopedic surgery, so healing bone. And he noticed that electricity in the body, when it was in its proper state, could heal the bone and regenerate the bone actually quicker when you put it in certain states. So, can we ask Robert, for the teeth in specifically, if is there a way to regenerate the teeth through using electricity?
Is there a way to regenerate the teeth by using? Yes, absolutely.
Now, the body has a natural electricity. It's called a DC electric current, which is direct current. So would he agree that if you increase the direct current in the body, that would help regenerate things like the teeth?
If you increase the direct current in the body, would that help with things like regenerating teeth? Yes.
Okay. So this is where we're gonna go over to part two, where I have all of my ideas, and we're gonna test out all my ideas of how we can repair our gums, our teeth, cavities, and all that fun stuff. So if you want to find out what the secret to regenerating your mouth is, you're gonna have to become a member. And we're going to go through all that in part 2 of this video. So, Liz, how can they be a part of our team and learn more?
Patreon.com/remote viewing and beyond. Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff going on over there. So it's not just about this video. There's lots of other things that we're learning. We've already got some funds picked out that we know are going to be really good in the future. We've got a lot of health information. We've got Mr. Shakespeare's charts, and you've also got access to the CTT group that takes place every Monday morning, 9 a.m. Central. So hopefully we'll see you over there. You certainly get your money's worth. So yeah, great. We'll see you there. And don't forget, Mr. Photon does have a tip jar down below.
Thanks very much.